life tends to warn you when you're getting deceived. For example, when something's too good to be true, most likely it's a scam. Anytime somebody sells you a quick fix, most likely is bullshit. So we're gonna be talking about what are those telltale signs that are red flag, but don't seem like red flag in the beginning. Okay, and this is one of the easiest way to fool yourself, because a lot of the times the most toxic red flags they don't look like red flags, but in hindsight they look like red flags. Let's begin. The first one starts fast and intense. Okay, there's a lot of passion in the beginning, and you guys are already seeing the future with you guys in the beginning. They're telling you how everything's gonna work out, how amazing this is. And the initial impression is that they're passionate and enthusiastic about the relationship, and they really like you. And they're honest about what they want with this. The potential problem with that is that it can sometimes be a sign of impulsiveness and a need for instant gratification. And these people tend to have a lot of compulsive habits that they can't control their emotions, their impulses. And a lot of times, sometimes they may also have other telltale signs like drug addiction. I'm not saying not every person that has addictions are problematic, but it is true that people who have addiction, who struggle with addiction, tend to cheat more. People who struggle with addiction tend to have less what do you call it, emotional intelligence, right? That's all problematic. And a lot of the times the most difficult impulse to control is our love for other people, or in our desires to connect. Anytime somebody cannot control that, a lot of times is a telltale sign that they just have no control over their impulses in general, and that's not good. You want someone who knows how to say no. Come on, man. So yeah, next one. Excessive charm and flattery. Yes, people. Excessive charm and flattery. Initial impressions, they seem incredibly charismatic and make you feel special with constant compliment and flattery. Ladies and gentlemen, Father Alex is not compliment. I'm just letting you guys know. So don't be looking at me. I know you guys were looking at me when I said that. But yeah, a lot of times it just tends to be very complimentary. And you know what's funny? When I was younger, I was learning how to talk to girls. I know, right? And I took it seriously. And I would go to different bars, and even in the streets. I wasn't creepazoid, but I bet I was creepy to some women, to be honest with you. But what I noticed was that when I got really good, there was a point that I got so good that they wouldn't trust you because you were too smooth. They were like, you know what, you're a little too good at this, and I kind of didn't understand what they meant. Oh my fucking god, I know it was a red flag. Shut up, Melissa. Where's my stick? And I kind of knew, so I had kind of learned that I had to literally look a little bit more nervous, like not look too confident. And the funny thing was that it actually ended up like making it much easier for me. And that's actually that's where I got that, where being too charming made them defensive, because they're like, why are you so fucking confident in this situation? You don't even know me, and I'm looking at you weird, and yet you're still that fucking present. Like, what kind of psychopath are you? I mean, seriously, I mean, I could be a psychopath, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't think I'm a psychopath. I've thought about it, and no, I have too much compassion, man. Trust me, man. If I was a psychopath, I'd be doing something else. They're like, what the fuck did it just say? Play that again. Shut up. Delete that part. Next part. So yeah, this behavior can be a form of manipulation known as love bombing, and often used to quickly gain trust and control, right? And that's what tends to happen. Anytime somebody looks very confident and very flattering at first, you gotta have a red flag against that. And you know what's funny is that was my problem when I was younger. Honestly, this was my problem. I was way too confident, not because I was confident, but because I was actually not confident. And then when I stopped trying to do that, and I learned to just allow myself to make mistakes, and to allow myself to show my normal self. Sometimes I'm nervous. What's funny is that it wasn't that I became more like a confident. The impression that people got of me, because I even remember I asked people, I'm crazy like that, was that I just looked more relaxed. not confident, just more relaxed. And I think that that subconsciously communicates confidence. Now, next one, oversharing early on. This one, anytime I see, anytime you tell me about the, I had this. Let me not even go there, man. Oversharing is the one sign, honestly, that I think you could slash my tires consistently. They are open, honest, and sharing personal stories and vulnerabilities right away. Like potential issues. This might indicate a lack of boundaries or an attempt to create a false sense of intimacy too quickly, which can lead to emotional dependence or manipulation. I remember one time this girl told me how her sister stabbed her a few times, and how they still go to the family reunions, and she didn't press charges, and she was gonna hang out with her next week. As I'm looking at her, I swear to God, people, if you saw my face, you would laugh, because I know I was looking at her like this, like I was like that, and what's funny is that she brought up the topic. I clearly remember I was talking about freaking pasta, and how it's like, and how you gotta eat it with the fork. And then she was like, you know what happened one time? Remember, my sister had a fork, and she tried to stab me with it, and it didn't work, so she used a knife. And a part of me, like, it's almost like seeing a car coming towards your direction. You see it, but you don't process it. And I'm like, and then she was like, guess why I ran? And she followed me, but I was limping. And as I'm hearing this, I'm like, am I really hearing this freaking Friday the 13th type of shit? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And it was so much, so quickly, that I felt bad for her. But then I'm like, I don't want to be part of this family reunion, man. This is a little too much. I was like, yo, call the cops, bitch. Call the cops. You still got time. like, call the cops, man. Holy shit. She's texting you. There she is. Call the cops. I was like, what's the statute of limitations? Come on, man. This is America, girl. Come on, man. You can still do it. I could not believe that, man. I went out with her like a few times, and every time I went out with her, I was like, yo, you gotta report her, man. Yo, you can't. And you know, the crazy thing is that, man, I just felt so bad. I felt so angry for her because she had nerve damage from it. You know what I'm saying? And she's still cool with her sister. And I'm like, yo, like, fuck love heals all, bitch. Like, prison heals. I'm not even gonna. I'm sorry. I don't want to get demonetized. Next one, man. Frequent criticism disguised as jokes. Right. This is actually a real one. I remember I had a friend of mine who was annoying me, and he was annoying me in a certain way, and I always made fun of him based on that annoying ass thing that he fucking did. He couldn't stop doing that shit, so I'm gonna make fun of your ass, man. Anyways, it turned into this was actually when I was a church member, but I was like still kind of an asshole when I was really good at making jokes, to be honest with you. And anyways, but I remember I just didn't like him because the dude just couldn't doing me that one favor and just not do that. I'm not gonna say what it is because I'm just saying. And one day he was like, dude, what the fuck is your problem, dude? Aren't you a Christian? Why are you always making fun of me like that? And I'm like, oh, I was like, my fault. But then I realized I didn't like him. I realized I did not like him. You know what I'm saying? It was kidding Alejandro, man. Fuck that kid, man. And I didn't like him because he reminded me of this one other kid. No, he wasn't Alejandro. He was fucking Alexander. The other kid, Alejandro. He was a little kid who, when I was in high school, in fourth grade, he betrayed me because he was getting bullied by these two Puerto Rican kids, Raymond and Eric, and I told him, yo, if those two guys try to bully you, let me know. I'm gonna beat them up at the same time. Freaking Alejandro, the snitch, goes up and tells him that. Then Eric and Raymond all of a sudden want to bully me. I'm like, when I realized that Alejandro did that shit, any kid that looked like him, I did not like, and I did not notice this for years. Anyways, man, let's keep going, man. So yeah, freaking criticism. They seem funny and witty, often making jokes or sarcastic statements about you. Potential issue is that being a butt of jokes can erode your confidence and self-esteem after a certain while. You know, and sometimes they just do that as passive aggression, and it gets worse over time. And it's very belittling, and it's a form of disrespect. Just because they're funny doesn't mean they should be mean. Well, if you're mean, you could be funny. Next one, isolation through subtle means. And they want to spend all of the time with you. They get mad when you hang out with your friends, you know what I'm saying? They make you feel valued and wanted, and you guys do everything together. And they want to spend time with you all the time. The problem is that isolating from your friends and family can lead to dependency and control over you. And sometimes that could be disguised as affection. You know, people caring for you is a disguise for control. Give us the power. Let's open up a department for that area so that we can help you guys. I want to help you. And that, giving them depending on them for that, gives them power. And a lot of the times people do that as a manipulation strategy, pretty much. The next one is inconsistent behavior. They have a busy life and various responsibility, leading to occasional cancellations and mood swings. Girl, I'm a surgeon. I don't got time to text you back because I'm a surgeon. Man, I'm working at I was gonna say a strip club, right? Oh, I'm a doctor. I can't text you all the time because I'm docking. I don't give a fuck how late you are. I don't care how busy you are. That is not anytime somebody says they're so busy that they don't even have time for their family. That's a red flag. That's a humongous red flag, and I wouldn't entertain that because they're gonna use that as an excuse to give you bullshit. Inconsistent action and emotions can indicate instability, unreliability, and tendency to manipulate by keeping you off balance. Right? And sometimes a red flag is just having psychological weaknesses. I'm depressed. I have an avoiding attachment style. So then people use that to justify their coldness, to justify their bullshit. Girl, I don't want to go today because I'm feeling depressed. So that's why I got to cancel last minute because I'm depressed. And even though they might be depressed, that over time gets to you, man. Next one is overly generous. Father Alex, he got me a car. He paid my bills. Father Alex, she bought me a laptop. She pays for my apartment. And she did that in the first week. She really likes me. No. Right? They shower with you with gift, attention, and acts of kindness. That's usually a sign of manipulation. That is inappropriate, and it's kind of like it's look. The problem with that is that it could be a tactic used to give you a sense of obligation, right? The burden of gratitude, and to mask their underlying intention, leading to controlling behavior. Once you become indebted to them or dependent on them, and that's where a lot of people, like sometimes people. Like I've heard of guys who get women to live in their apartment and completely depend on them where they don't work. But now if you break up with them, you're homeless, and they use that as power, right? Or they give you a lot of money or pay your bills at first and you don't even do nothing to deserve it. It's one thing to deserve it, but you do nothing to deserve that, paying your bills. And that tends to create in that person like that. They feel like if they start getting abused by that person, they won't leave because they depend on them, and that's a red flag. Never accept someone who's being overly generous at first. Never accept anything, too much of anything at first. Too much of their time, say no to it in the beginning. Too much of their love at first, say no to it. Too much of their money, say no to it at first. In fact, if they're a powerful person, saying no to their benefits makes you more attractive. They'll want you more, and they'll trust you more. Next one is excessive privacy. They value their privacy and independence, which seems respectful, right? They're an independent person. I like my privacy. I like to be alone sometimes. But the problem with that, consistently, like extreme secrecy about the past activities or other relationships can be a sign of deceit and hidden agendas. So being way too private. Don't ask me what I do, girl. says the mafia guy, is a red flag. And you can see how a lot of people who tend to be understanding can swallow this bullshit and believe it. Next one is too many sob stories where they're the victim, man. Oh my God, bendito. This is a red flag of all red flags. Not all, but like, it's up there for me, man. Where they share their hardship makes them appear vulnerable and relatable. And even a group of people, anytime a group of people highlights their past affliction over their present wins, I see it as a group of people who are being highly manipulated by powerful political people. It's that simple. Anytime a group of people tend to highlight that, just understand that group of people is being manipulated by higher powers who know the power of victimhood. And anytime somebody his main identity is a sob story and how bad their life is, that's a red flag. Even if it's true. Even if it's true. You don't think I could have a fucking sob story? I could give you guys a sob story. I could tell you my sob story. That shit will be good. Oh, I could get so many followers, but it only attracts other victims. We're not here to attract victims. We're here to attract people who overcame their victimhood. So sob stories. Overloading you with tales of woe can be a strategy to evoke sympathy and manipulate your emotions. The next one is disregarding your boundaries. I mean, Lord have mercy. They're confident and assertive, often taking the lead in decisions, right? They'll order things for you. They'll tell you what to wear. They'll tell you where to go. They'll tell you who to be your friends. They'll seem confident, but the problem is that consistently disregarding your comfort zones or personal boundaries can indicate a lack of respect for your autonomy. Which goes, the next one goes into a similar light with the last one, which is playing the victim. They seem to have been wronged by many people, which generates sympathy, and in all of their stories, for some reason, they're always the one who's being hurt. They're never the perpetrator. The problem is that it becomes a habit. And victimhood can be a manipulation tactic to avoid responsibility and gain your unwavering support. And this is where and this is the next one, similar to that, refusal to take responsibility. And the way that it looks is that every time something wrong happens, they always have an excuse for it. They provide logical explanations for their mistakes or misfortunes. Potentially, the problem is that chronic excuses and blame shifting can signal an unwillingness to take responsibility. And honestly, that would be one thing that I just would never tolerate from anybody. That's honestly that's one thing that you could make my teeth grind if you tell me that's your negative trait, because I'm not dealing with your ass. See, look at that. My fucking God, he's so passive aggressive shit. sorry. You know? And be aware of this, because when you like someone, this is a 50-50 thing. If you don't like someone, the victimhood looks like they're actual victims. But if you if you like someone, the victimhood looks like an actual victim. But if you actually are open-mindedness and you don't like them, or you're willing to walk away, what happens is that you start to see them not as victims, but as perpetrators who are passive-aggressive and people who take no responsibility. So what you see is based on whether or not you're willing to walk away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mindful Attraction University, taught by Professor Alex, where I teach you all of the strategies to improve your dating life and all of the courses that I have all in one place. And you can get it at a highly discounted rate. So that means you can purchase all of my basic courses without the bundles, usually at $600. You can purchase it now at $399, people, not $400. $399 for psychological purposes. Yeah, that's right. Oh my fucking God, he's showing us a scam. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Father Alex does that. So that means you could get emotional mastery, the psychological game of attraction, the feminine woman, natural chemistry, charisma blueprint, and nice girl at a discounted rate. But then, if you want to get the master's degree of the Mindful Attraction University, taught by Professor Alex, you can get the premium version, where usually all of the courses cost $1,200. Now you can purchase them all at $799 or 4 payments of $200. You guys can now also do like a payment plan. Feminine woman, emotional mastery, the whole shebang with all of the bonuses at one lower price, people. And with that, honestly, this is the type of thing that I know that if you guys get, it'll fix your dating life in ways you guys cannot imagine. Now, my worry is that it is a lot of content. Like it is, and I'm not a fan of giving people a lot of content because I don't want informational junkies. But this is the best way to get it all in one price. Now, look, mind you, if you purchase the bundle, I'm just gonna be honest, there's no refunds. Purchasing the whole bundles. If you guys think you guys are not gonna like it, I will prefer if you guys buy one course to see if you like it, and if you don't like that course, you could get your money back and don't purchase the bundle, right? But if you like that course, you guys can send me an email and say, hey, can I upgrade to the bundle? Pay the difference, and there you guys will get it. But it's just that, look, man, you guys know my content. If you like one course, you like it all, right? So that's the only caveat. But I know damn well, if you purchase it, your dating life will never be the same. Okay. Now, for those who purchase the courses but want to add to the bundle, you guys can message me and maybe we could come up with a price so that you guys can get it while being able to not have to pay all the crazy prices. Okay. So just click on the description down below. There you'll see the ability to purchase the wifey basic package, which is the one that you see here for $3.99 without the bundles and without the bonuses. But if you guys want to purchase it with the bonuses, which is a lot of content, and I'm afraid because it's a lot of content, you guys can purchase it right here with either 4 payments of $200 or one-time payment of $7.99, right? And yeah, and by the way, I made this design, Father Radix is being inclusive here and stuff like that. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys can support the channel by purchasing those courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye-bye.